awful
Just come
statistics.
out with that. You can't be putting that message out as a doctor. And also, can I say this? Can I say... No, you let me speak for a minute. The latest study from Harvard, if you want to go down the research and study route, has made it
so
absolutely
many fucking
clear
fires to put
that you
out.
cannot be fat and healthy.
You know what?
And it is a disgrace, in my opinion, for any doctor to be shouting to the nation this morning, well, do you know what? If you're a bit poor,
be a new 300
or if
stack
you're,
plan,
I don't know, whatever,
but like,
you're always going to be fat anyway.
We're not dealing with that
and
bullshit.
Actually, it doesn't really matter because you can be fat and really healthy. That is just...
Let me also...
It's really difficult, isn't it, for the individual, whether it be a child that's being introduced to this curriculum or an adult who's sitting watching this now, to know what is the right thing when you hear two people with such opposing views there. So what does someone do?
Games.
So what I'll say is that I don't have the time to explain all of the science here. If you come and actually look on my website, www.fatdoctor.co.uk, or come and follow me on social media, you'll see that I quote plenty of studies. I give lots of evidence-based medicine. I am willing to stake my career on the fact that I believe that we need to stop telling people to lose weight. I absolutely believe that we should be encouraging people to nourish themselves and to exercise, but not to lose weight.
A heart attack? You're telling the nation that if they're obese, don't worry about it, even though we know that most people, if you're obese, you're much more at risk of dying of COVID if you get it. And you're saying to the nation today, as a GP then,
I'm not sure you two are ever going to agree on this point, and we probably could discuss it till the end of the show. But listen, thank you both for being here this morning.
Wow, dude, that's crazy. So, comments expectedly are turned off. Like to dislike ratio is pretty bad. And she's probably getting assaulted on her social media right now. So, I don't think, do they plug your socials on here? No? Okay. So, I think the answer is pretty obvious, and I'm surprised that she would take this aggressive
Sandbox. Let me pause MPMD.
I think that it's...
I'm going with Sandbox right now, because the last time I did campaign, and I got to the point where it's like, we're gonna be the biggest, dickest clan! Nah, I kept getting ganked by everyone else, so what I'm gonna do is easy peasy lemon squeezy. And just... Come on. I don't care about that. What the fuck just happened here?
For 500 years, the Calradian Empire dominated the continent.
This is some bullshit. This is bullshit.
The strongholds of proud tribes crumbled beneath its engines of war. From the forests of the north to the wastes of the south, all was brought beneath the standard of their legions. Brutal as the conquest was, the wise agreed that it brought peace. The land, now untroubled by armies, grew rich, but empires, like men, grow old. Leaders lose a common cause. Corruption spreads. Old enemies learn the Empire's tricks and devise new ones of their own. Until one day, the bonds holding the Empire snap. Then comes the Civil War.
So, I do not know what to do. For me, it is being a Sturgian or a Batanian. My accent is closer to Azerai or Kuzate more than the other two, but this is the accent that I can mimic very well. I think I shall do a Botanian. Make it a big burly ginger boy. Big and strong and thick and mighty. Refusing to go down to the fucking peasantry.
Go! Infantry! Move to enemy!
Let's get back to listen to the big-headed Jimmy Neutron.
To lead a relatively healthy lifestyle as somebody who's overweight and, you know, try and approach it from a more like hybrid angle. But she, which I don't agree with, by the way, but still, she's just like straight up yeah, you should just fucking not even try, because, you know, the chances are very high you're gonna fail. So fuck it, just don't even bother. Just stay fat or get fat. Who cares? Doesn't matter. So I'm pretty much in full agreement with Steve here, obviously, and I'm shocked that this is, well, actually, I'm not shocked, you know, with the way things have been going now. You see on, like, the billboards, you see on, like, the magazine covers and shit. Half the time, you know, I think it's just people trying to get a crazy, like, viral reaction, and they don't even actually believe in the message. They'll put somebody who's, like, morbidly obese on the cover of something, and then, you know, they don't care if you even think, are they, like, you know, body accepting, diverse accepting, blah, 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 or are they just trying to evoke a crazy reaction and bring more attention to their brand by making it seem like, oh, we're, like, open-minded and we're so open to diversity and these people should not be shamed and blah, blah, blah. Or in reality, they're just trying to incite some fucking crazy response on Twitter, on YouTube, on whatever, and then people are making response videos like I am right fucking now. So I don't know if that's maybe her goal, is to have such like a polar aggressive, you know, stance that it makes a, you know, a following, like a cult following.
Yeah, I have to do freebooter,
you know, more attention
because I'm just
she's
bad
going to
at
get
the
more attention
game
from this than she is from just like, you know, I think the risks of being overweight are like slightly.
I'm also gonna make this enable, no, realistic, reduced by 50%. You know what I mean? Ah, fuck it, realistic. Auto allocate the fucking clan member perk shit. I'm not dealing with that nonsense. But let me do this. Options. Performance. Oh wait, no video. Wait, now. I gained a level by existing. Okay. I have 1,000. Okay. Recruit troops. Alright. This is gonna be not so fun. I'm gonna fucking die, I'm sure. A lot. It'll be good though. It will be good. Because all I need to do is just... Let's just put on... No.
Overstated and blah, blah, blah. So this stance is definitely going to get her attention.
I'm going to be mostly quiet.
Who knows if that's what it is, or if that's
and I'll pause MPMD while I want to talk and etc. blah blah. But for right now, I'm just going to be...
I think as she believes, because who's going to like relate and feel like, oh, I like this chick a lot, when she's just sitting there like fake fucking laughing and smiling through the entire thing in complete disagreement with Steve. Like, just sit there and fucking listen, compile your response, say it professionally, and don't just sit there with the biggest smirk, the biggest fake smirk on your face for the whole fucking thing. It's just, I don't know. For some reason,
I'ma fucking kill you.
So, anyways, let me know what
I'll kill you myself.
down below. All the comments help the algorithm. They're much appreciated. Follow me on Instagram at moreplates_moredates, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Apple Podcasts. If you want to support the channel, you can check out anything I'm associated with in the video description below. My TRT clinic, it's all telemedicine from the comfort of your own home. I recommended lab tests and diagnostics for staying healthy and
body
assessing
weight
your health
exercises.
status and anything else I am associated with. It's all in the video description below. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you soon.
I call it the curse of potential. There are people in bodybuilding world who have never made it to the top because everything comes too easy for them. Now, things never came that easy for me. I had to work real hard.
Welcome to this week's Escape Your Limits podcast. In today's episode, we reconnect with Mr. Frank Zane, one of the most admired and influential bodybuilders of all time. His previous episodes have received some of our highest downloads to date.
Nope. We need more MPMD. More plates, more dates. And it's gear education, so matter or not, vertical diet log. What the fuck is this? Self-improvement and lifestyle, health and hormones.
Magnesium in too. Like, I supplement magnesium bisglycinate every night, and potassium, most people are deficient. Like, the potassium requirements are.
After that, I'm going to go up to like 500 maybe, and that's going to be my peak off season. And with that, my body can easily get up to like 265 if I'm training and eating perfectly.
What's up, guys? Derek from Today we are going to be reacting to Chris Bumstead's cycle. Yes, talking about my cycle. The reason why this is so funny is the other day there was a video made by Bryce Trout doing an impression of, I don't know, this was like a year ago or something. Then put up like a controversial teenage shot saying he was natty, and he just took like pre-workout and random shit, like natty stuff. And then, you know, there was a lot of debate as to if he was natural or not at the time, or what the deal was. And, you know, Ian came out with this big statement, how, well, it wasn't a big statement, but just a statement how all he used for the show after that picture was like Anabar or something. There was a big thing about it. It was, if you go through my channel and type in Chris Bumstead, you'll find it, but pretty funny impression from Bryce here. I think, I don't know, you tell me if his More Plates, More Dates impression is on point. I feel like his Bumstead one is definitely his fucking like 10 out of 10 though for the impression. But anyways, hilarious shit. I don't even think the conclusion, it's funny because he like decided to make his own conclusion. That was like, not sure what I fucking said, but it was you know, a funny back and forth. I've never seen somebody do an impression where they like play both characters. But anyways, I thought this was fitting given it was published the other day, about a week ago actually at this point, but a bunch of people have been asking me to react to it, and I was like, fuck, like I just did the impression short I put up from Bryce. I reposted it, and how fitting to just go into the cycle again. Chris is talking about it, why the fuck not? So, here he has to say.
And right now, that's why I'm going to be taking 4 days off training. I'm getting blood work done this weekend. And a lot of times in bodybuilding, training really hard, it can increase your creatinine levels and higher stress and inflammation in the body and can affect your blood work a little bit. So to get a better baseline, you're supposed to take time off.
Yeah, sometimes I see people getting blood work literally the day after, thinking like, oh, this is like gonna show my best, you know, testosterone reading, it's gonna show the best like metrics of your health, and it's like, it's going to show artificial levels of stress essentially. Because again, working out, it's almost like a hormetic stressor. It's something that you then, it's like transiently like bad, as in it's like stressful for your body. It's not bad, but your body reacts accordingly by creating a response to that stress, which is favorable in a health metabolic context. So, but on your blood work transiently, you might see like transient aberrations in certain metrics that make it look like you have health problems that you just don't have. So, you know, especially for bodybuilders who are inducing massive amounts of muscle trauma and shit like that, you definitely want to be taking multiple days off before you go get a blood test done, or else you might think something's way off that otherwise isn't. You know, a liver enzyme elevation that may otherwise not even be there, seemingly. You have, you know, a CRP that's higher. You have a creatinine, like you mentioned. You know, there are certain metrics that are going to get thrown off if you are getting a blood test done right after heavy multiple days of training.
and before getting blood work. So next 3 days, taking off the gym after today, and then blood work on the weekend, making sure I'm healthy. And after that, we're gonna be starting my off season. A little bit late, but I've been training hard and doing everything right. But my supplements have been very low this year. They're 2 centuries. I'm trying not to say specific words because I don't like talking about it because people take stuff and run with it and copy it, and I don't want that to be the point of this. But the point I would like to say is that getting the most of the least is still something that all bodybuilders should be trying to do.
You know, I like commend him for trying to be transparent, but also not be like, you know, way too dictating of like what Mr. Olympia takes. Because again, a lot of people aspire to be like Chris. A lot of people look up to him, very much so, to a point that they could copy what he does. I understand, you know, why both sides of the spectrum. It's a complicated kind of seesaw where you don't want to be keeping people in the dark, but also at the same time, you don't want to like inspire generation to use shit, you know, to get to your level. However, it's kind of a fucked up scenario because ultimately this sport, it's like everyone is fully aware that if you are going to try and become, you know, a classic champion, like you're gonna have to take shit at the end of the day. It's an unfortunate ultimatum that is inevitably leading down the path of the Sazul. But again, the majority of people watching his shit aren't gonna actually be competing and trying to become a top bodybuilder. So it's kind of like, when millions of people are watching, like I understand why he is relatively withdrawn about trying to say specifics. And I guess a lot of young guys, like maybe they don't even know what he's talking about, so they're just gonna like gloss over it. Whereas the guys who know what he's talking about, when he's just like 2, what do you say, centuries or whatever the fuck he said, like people are kind of, people in the know kind of like are gonna figure it out, I guess. I don't know.
And I have had 14 months between Olympias, so, and the weight cap that I don't have to make. So I've been just really focusing on my health. I got a new doctor, I'm doing blood work. This is the 4th time this year that I've done blood work, and it's been getting better and better progressively. So the more you know, the more you can handle stuff, and that has helped with my stress around my health that I've had in the past due to my autoimmune. So I've been, like I said, very low dose in my supplements that I've been doing. I'm gonna be going up a little bit more after this if I'm healthy. And I hate talking about it because I don't want to say things. I don't want people to do it. But numbers are around 200 that I've been doing.
Okay, so like his cruise, 200 milligrams presumably of a test base, maybe like, I don't know, maybe like 150 of test and like 50 primo or something. But probably just like 200 tests as a baseline is presumably what he's asserting. Maybe like a little bit of GH in there, who knows.
And I come off once a year completely.
See, that's the interesting thing, the come off once a year completely thing. It's like a lot of top pros outline that as if it's like an admirable thing of cleaning out, as in it's like everyone should do this, but in reality, is it actually a healthier practice? Like on paper, I can see why the perception is that it's healthier because you're actually clearing your body of drugs. It's like, okay, I'm not taking anything for a span of time during the year, therefore I am like doing more responsible things. But it's like when your HPTA is so butt-fucked from being a like top-tier bodybuilder who is taking progestogenic drugs, testosterone based, you're using this, you're using that, you know, unless you're using like extremely short esters and clearing them out of your system, and then you've been doing this for so many years and shutting yourself down to a point where your cleaning out essentially is just transiently removing the compounds right when you achieve a level of negative HPTA suppression going down to 0, and actually getting to a state where you will be able to restore actual fertility metrics and actual like natural production. You're pretty much going back on. Like there's a lot of top pros who talk about cleaning out and they come off for like 4 or 8 weeks or something, and it's like, okay, what have you really accomplished other than clearing the synthetic drugs out of your system, crashing your system transiently, getting like, you know, your HDL looks a bit better because you don't have these enzymes in your system anymore exogenously, and your blood work, you know, for a very, very snapshot period of time on a piece of paper in a like literal, like tiny little fucking fraction of time looks better, but was the stress on your body of having literal like no hormonal support for that, you know, 3 to 4 weeks or whatever it was while you're clearing everything out, was that crash and then just jumping back on healthier than you actually just staying at a much lower but like replacement amount of hormone support, bioidentical, and just maintaining that until your next blast. You know, like that's the thing I would question, because I think that a lot of guys, I'm not saying this is wrong, by the way. I'm not saying what he did was like irresponsible and like actually the dumb thing to be doing, but like I would actually question that personally. As if I was a bodybuilder who was blasting the fuck out of myself for, you know, however many months per year, and then I'm gonna try and improve my health. Is my time where I'm trying to improve my health and get everything to as top tier of a position as possible going to involve crashing my system? Probably not. It's going to involve like baseline hormone support, because I am literally like shut down essentially year round, and then trying to improve all metrics. Because again, it's not like your cardiovascular system and your brain are functioning at top tier when it's deprived of fucking androgens. Like that's also cardiotoxic and neurotoxic. So again, like I'm not necessarily like on board with the whole idea of like I come off for like 4 weeks, all these compounds are still like residually fucking transiently suppressing my HPTA anyways, and I'm basically still on drugs until right when they fully clear out of my system and I've effectively like crashed the fuck into myself. Now I do go back on a blast. Like, I don't know, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I can understand, depending on the time frame and depending on the goal, you know, it kind of, I don't know, like for me, I just don't see the utility for a lot of these guys that ultimately have to maintain a certain physique and will inevitably be blasting again in the very near future. It seems like a futile attempt to maximize health metrics when you otherwise could probably stress your system less by actually being on like literal HRT. Could be wrong on that, just my speculation.
And then I've been doing very low dose, 200 a week. And then after that, I'm gonna go up to like 500 maybe, and that's gonna be my peak off season. And
peak off season 500. And again, the androgen deprivation, that's only one part of the equation. Like think of all of the things downstream that are going to be crashed too when you are like coming off for like 4 to 8 weeks or whatever it is per year. Estrogen deprivation, also wholly problematic. If that's even a fucking grammatically correct statement. Wholly problematic. I don't even know what I meant by that. Very problematic. As well, I saw a lot of other shit that goes overlooked by this whole crashing model. I don't know. And again, does that involve PCT drugs too while you're crashing your system to try and restore fertility and like health metrics faster? Are you using like SERMs trying to get there faster? Like, I don't know. Like there's a lot of things that I just like, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me unless you were actually planning on coming off like long term. But anyways, 500 peak off season seems like not a lot.
With that, my body can easily get up to like 265 if I'm training and eating perfectly. And again, this is where the emphasis I want to put on a lot of things right now. Number one is health. Be healthy. Get your blood work done. Find a doctor who's going to help you do stuff as properly and effectively as you can so that you're not being stupid. And number two, as a bodybuilder, do the basics before anything. Make sure your training and your eating is perfect before adding more supplements to the mix, because it's literally pointless. You don't get the same out of that shit as you would from the training. I've proven that to myself. When I was young, I used to run a typical cycle that most bodybuilders would. Still very low amounts, but the typical amount of compounds, 4 or 5 compounds throughout a prep. And now I'm down to like 1 or 2. And I've gone, decreased everything and looked much better because I've been more efficient. Older now, more muscle maturity, but I've also just focused more on all year being on my diet, on my training, on my health, on everything perfectly. And it's allowed me to hopefully extend my career much further than it should have been, given the fact that I already have.
Greens. Fucking greens, bro. Do you eat enough? I often don't, to be completely goddamn honest. This is something that by the way, sponsor of today's episode, AG1 by Athletic Greens. I don't know why I call it episode. This is a video on YouTube, whatever. At the end of the day, this is a product I use as my greens supplement insurance policy of sorts, because I do not eat enough lettuce, spinach, etc. This is something I used to be pretty dialed on, but as I got more busy through entrepreneurial stuff and just started to value my time more and valued sitting at the table eating salads less, I came to
can't wait either, my love,
of something like this, which is something I mix up in 5 seconds, slam in 5 seconds, actually 5 seconds, pretty fucking quick. And it has 75 vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfood, probiotics, and adaptogens in one convenient daily serving. Special blended ingredients help support your body's nutritional needs, supports gut health, immunity, energy, recovery, focus, and aging. So again, for me, you know, some of this interesting, you know, unique spins on stuff like the digestive enzymes, mushroom complex, adaptogens, etc. That's all like fringe benefit stuff, but for me, the main reason I use it is to hit my Green's requirements, which frankly, I was very hit or miss on. This is something that I mainly got turned on to by watching other content creators that I respected in the science-based space that were also using it. And I was like, okay, like, this is the formula that I trust their adherence to the literature, because they've had 52 changes over the last 10 years, apparently. So they're constantly staying up to date on nutritional information. So for me, that really reinforced my confidence, as well as the individuals who are using it, that I actually consume their content myself and I trust what they're saying. So anyways, this is what I'm using now personally, and I think, you know, if it aligns with kind of what you're looking for, it might be valuable for you as well. They have a free year supply of K2 and D3 as well. I mentioned it before, this is in my top 3 to 5, like, literal no-brainer supplements. Almost everyone is deficient in D3 and K2. This is something that supports immune function, bone health, cardiovascular health, as well as androgen status, how many people are low in D3. This is something that comes free when you use the link in the description below, which is athleticgreens.com/more-plates-more-dates, and you get 5 free travel packs as well of the Athletic Greens formula. So if you want to support me, you can check it out. The link is in the description below. And back to our regularly scheduled programming. So yeah, so a lot of good things said there, and yeah, I'm definitely totally on board with the whole milking the most you can out of the least. And if he can get away with, you know, 500 in the peak off season, like, you know, great. Because if that's fucking great. If you can be a top Classic Olympia pro winner, Classic Olympia fucking literal Olympian, not just, you know, competing at the Olympia at a top level, but winning the whole thing. And you only need to use 500 in the off season. Now again, I'm assuming he's being pretty careful with his words here. Like he says, I'm on 200, and then I go to 500 in the off season, and then, you know, contest prep is only 1 or 2 compounds, whereas it used to be like 4 or 5 compounds, but still pretty low amounts, blah, blah. You know, he's a responsible, you know, mass-appealing, mainstream influencer bodybuilder. A little bit more cautious, understandably, because again, like, a lot of people will do this shit and just be like, straight up, what are you doing? I'm gonna fucking inject it right now. So, with him though, when he says low amounts, like, you have to understand too, I don't think he would have got to where he's at if he took this approach.
I'm texting my fiance right now. I'm just vibing. I got Derek going. I got this going. I don't need to speak right now. Not just yet.
Shit in, presumably.
Though if Derek tells me to stop doing this, obviously I'll have to.
New size, especially if he's late in an off season,
so,
using a maximum dose of half a gram.
Actually, you know what?
Transitioning right into prep.
Let's get some Adrian Von Ziegler going down. Well, let's see what he's got to say. Okay, you can get the song here with all my other music. The song, you can also support me in my music. Copyrighted to all audio. So as much as I'd love to listen to this, I'm pretty sure he'd copyright strike me. So let's go to Jippy.
Greetings.
Have a good rest of the day, my love. I hope everything goes well. I love you so fucking much. And I can't wait until we live together when I get to go home and crawl into your arms every night. And then make you a cream-stuffed little ginger bitch. I love you, baby.
Okay.
Alright, now let's roll.
Spaceship radio this here.
It's salacious.
Can you hear me? Oh, now I'm coming in through my other ear. Hello!
Yes. Hey, we were going to talk about the album. Oh, the album. We just finished our album, folks. That's right. Just saw the cover. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful album cover, and it's a smash a wonderful album. Guess what? We're going to premiere it today on the show. You like it a lot.
Yeah. I played it for some total strangers over the weekend down at the beach.
A listening session which bridges time and space.
Whether you rockin' them Timberlands or them flip-flops, it don't stop. It's rugged and underground, and I'm one of the heavyweights, pound for pound.
That's right. You hear that? I
music itself, it just comes out so graceful, so masterful that, as I say, it is very technical, but I'm more amazed just at the coordination that he has.
And the only thing that you have to have is some time to listen in this busy world of ours, and a chance maybe to put your feet up and relax.
That's nice.
It's simple.
I like that. It's friendly.
It's friendly and it's real.
Yeah. And there, you know, people think this is all cut together. Do you realize that most of the things that, like what we just did, this is serious. We've been doing all that live. That's all been live. It's like that, and it sounds like it's all cut up.
This series of student collages will return in just a minute after this musical message.
That was another. The opening of our show is a little sloppy, I think. Week after week, there's a little bit of sloppiness to the program. I'd like.
Are you ready?
Oh, heavenly grid, I just don't know what to do.
I can play another record if you're not.
Well, I don't know, man.
It doesn't really matter to me. It doesn't really matter, 'cause that's the way that my life goes. It doesn't really matter to me. It doesn't really matter to me.
Sure.
It doesn't really matter anyway.
The snarl that's crossing my face is from the black cherry wood.
Sergeants, take command!
It doesn't really matter, 'cause that's the way. It doesn't really matter, 'cause that's the way that my life goes. It doesn't matter to me.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Tight turn! Tight turn! Tight turn! Rake across the back of the chainmail. Tight turn! Tight turn! Tight turn! No. Okay. Alright. So I'm doing a 300 stat clan situation.